Okay, good. All right, now, obvious mistakes to avoid. We've told you what to do, kind of how to structure it, and now we're going to say, don't do this. And of course, the flip side is, if you're not doing this, do that. All right, so what I just said was, most cold emails get deleted by the recipient after a few sentences or sometimes after just a glance. Harsh but true. Now, why do they do this? The most common reasons for this are the content, like what's in the email, is so bad that the very act of reading is painful, right? This would be things like all caps, or run-on sentences, or terrible punctuation, or bad spelling, or all this stuff. They just go, oh, forget it, forget it. The other way is that the sender has been so, and this is a more subtle thing. The other reason that people say adios to your email by going delete is that the sender has been so inconsiderate of the reader's time that the reader doesn't want to do business with them. You know what I mean? It would be like if I came to your house and I said, hey, listen, I'm just dropping by, but I would really like you to read this 800-page book right now and tell me what you think. Now, that wouldn't be very considerate, right? I mean, that's something that you have to do, and I'm asking you to do it, and I want you to do it right now, and I'm waiting. Not considerate, all right? So you're asking for money. You don't want to be inconsiderate. All right. So to avoid this fate, this terrible fate, sorry, here's some features that should not appear in your cold email. Right. Extreme length. Don't make it more than 1 or 2 paragraphs. Long blocks of text. Okay? Remember that most people are staring at computers, and these days people are staring at their phones. You know what I mean? And they're like, So things need to be very clear, short, crisp, fast. It's too bad, but that's how it is. Here's another one, a long or a stupid title in the subject line. For example, are you ready for the most amazing investment opportunity ever? Right? Okay, that's going to go right into spam. It's just going to go right into spam. I mean, it's like, even if the person sees it, like, it's not specific, it's not anything that they can file, they don't know who you are, they can't put it in the folder, forget it. Lack of numbers, or vague or overly complicated language, all right? Remember that for your venture capitalists, they're experts in money and they're experts in business. They may not necessarily be experts in your, I don't know, alternative to penicillin, right? They may not be experts in microwave technology that can be attached to motorcycles, right? They just don't know, right? So don't make it overly complicated with the highly technical stuff that only an insider in your industry would understand. Misspellings, poor punctuation, we talked about that. Addressed to the wrong person or to the right person with his or her name spelled incorrectly. Okay, I can tell you that people are different. In America, it's considered very bad form to misspell people's names. Very bad form. Because, especially now with the internet, you can usually Google the person, the company, look at their website, go on LinkedIn, you can find their name. However, there are certain cases where it's not such a big deal if the person doesn't have a big online presence, if they have a name that was written in a different alphabet and ends up being spelled multiple ways. This happens a lot with Chinese names, with Arabic names, with Japanese names, and so on. But if you're talking to any kind of English speaker, they get kind of fussy about names. So do, take that 5 minutes on Google and the internet to just check that name. Okay, and then the last one is sending an email to a venture capital company that doesn't cover your industry. So, for example, why is your bamboo bicycle company pitching a software venture capital firm? They're not, they're not, right? I mean, you might do one that is good for the leisure, leisure athletics sector. Or you might do one that is for alternative transportation sector or something like that. But if they're really far away, I mean, do your homework on who you're emailing. Don't just, grab a list off, wherever of all the LinkedIn firms in Silicon Valley or the VC firms in Silicon Valley and just go, okay, well, they've got money. I'll send them to them. You're wasting their time and making and yours and making a bad impression. Okay, so that's it. So that whole message, like I said, should fill a half page at most. This structure really does show respect for the recipient's time and really packs a ton of very attractive details about your company into a small space. Now remember, when you send an email, emails are always single-spaced, right? They're single-spaced, there's no spacing, they're just, and so when people print them out, they'll look like, sorry, I'm just going to grab, they'll look like it takes up that much of space. Usually if you printed out a brief email, it'll put out that much space. But if you actually typed it out in double space, it would take up a whole page. And that's about as much attention as anyone wants to pay to an email. That's it. If it's not too long, I mean, if it's too much, oh my gosh. I'll tell you about my stepmother. She loves to write endlessly long emails and never put in any paragraphs. I don't know why, but they're really hard to read because they're longer than I can respond to, and they're hard to read. So don't do that. And especially if people, and I know her and I know her life, they don't know you and they don't know your life, and vice versa. You don't know them. So respect their time, respect their attention span.